On today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make jump rings and what to use for materials. Let's get started. So chainmail is mostly made out of jump rings. Just pieces of wire wound into like a ring of sorts, and they're all laced together to make them strong. It's essentially a chain. It's used in jewelry and a lot of different medieval and Renaissance style clothing and armor. I'm sure you've seen it, but it's actually rather simple to make, and it's pretty easy to actually make the jump rings. The different styles of the jewelry and chain weaving and whatnot, that's a little bit difficult, and I'm not going to get into that today just because of the fact that it's a little harder than, well, I have time to do, so I'm not that patient. So, alright, so what you need to do, first off, is grab a piece of old electrical wiring, like household wiring is the best because it's a little bit thicker. Just so you know, the thicker the number is on it, like 14.2 or 12.2, the thicker it's going to be, the harder it might be to work with. So just remember that when you're starting out. So what you want to do is, you want to try and split the sheathing back. And clearly I have a dull razor blade. So, yeah, that's pretty dull, so I'll be right back. I'm going to get a different one. Alright, so I'm back. Alright, so like I said, you just want to take your knife. You can go as far as you want. Just for this amount, I'm not going to do a whole lot, just for demonstration purposes. And because it's already mostly stripped off, I'm going to use what would be the ground wire. Because it's going to be the easiest one to use because it doesn't have the insulation like the other two. Which makes it a lot easier for this video. Let's take this and try and cut it all. There we go. Okay. Now that we got our wire, you'll want to try and straighten it out as best as you can. This step isn't really, pertinent or precise for the whole thing, but just to make it look a little bit more uniform and cleaner. Alright. That's not exactly the straightest, but it'll work. So what you want to do is, now this part is purely optional. What I like to do is I like to take a drill and a thin wall piece of pipe, and I like to just drill a hole in the side of it. Hopefully I can do this. Alright. So, now that we got the mandrel made, now like I said, this part was just purely optional. If you don't have a drill or can make a hole in this, or if you don't have anything with a hole, it's just going to be a little harder. You just have to hold it with your thumb while you wrap it around. But I like to do it this way because, well, it's just a lot easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you give yourself a little over an inch or so on the outside, just so you have something to hold on to. And you hold it and you just start wrapping it around your piece of pipe. Now a heads up, however big your piece of pipe is, the outside diameter, that's going to be the inside diameter of your rings. So if you're using a big pipe, you're going to use a lot more material and your rings are going to be bigger. So the smaller the pipe, the more rings you'll have. But all depends on what you're doing or what you're working with or how you want to do things. So there's that. And you just keep wrapping. And you could make as many as you want. You could just wrap this whole thing if you wanted to. But just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do a few. Alright. So there we go. And the tighter you get them together, the more per inch you'll get. So there's that, just a little bit less. So then you're going to take your wire cutters, then you're going to cut off where it comes out. You can pull that out, and this should just slide off. Alright, there we go. Then you're just going to take a spot with your cutters, and you're just going to cut them. And there's a whole bunch of different styles and weaving patterns you can make with all this. The most common one is the 5-in-1 pattern. Then there's the Byzantine. There's all sorts of different ones. Possibilities are really endless here. Yeah, I'm not too good at this, so what I'm going to do is link a good friend of mine in the description below, and I'm going to show some of the pictures of the stuff that she's done. It's some phenomenal work, so yeah, there you go. Those are the first kind of jump rings. And like I said, you can make as many as you want. You can make them however big you want. You can make them however small. And there's tons of different how-to videos on chainmail and jump ring weaving and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not the best at it or even remotely good at it, so I'm going to go ahead and save you guys and myself some embarrassment on it, but that's essentially how it goes. These are some examples from my pal Toxie. She does amazing work with these jump rings. I'll add a link to her page in the description below. Well, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and give us a like down below, or you can subscribe to us. I try and do a video whenever I can, and as always, in between videos you can check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, keep creating.